Hey everybody, so in the interest of efficiency, I'm going to do driving directions here for two properties. These two properties are reference numbers CB&M-6748B and A. These two properties are both very close to one another. They're not adjacent, but 95% of the video would be the same for both properties. So I'm going to go through this to the B property, turn-by-turn directions, how to get out to the B property. And then at the end, I'll just discuss the little difference between B and A, okay? And of course, if you're watching this on the website, you know that we have the driving directions stills down here, the annotated stills, which will, even in the absence of this video, give you excellent turn-by-turn directions how to get out to these properties. So, with all that said, first I just want to say that if you were to look at the Tierra Verde Ranchette subdivision on a map, it is 4,500 acres that occupies pretty much all of this space right here that I'm circling, just south of Highway 53. Now, there are two entrances into this subdivision. The one is over here, the western entrance. And unfortunately, the western entrance leads you into Unit 1, where a rancher has set up not one, but two gates, two major obstructions, barring access to the subdivision. Both of those gates require a passcode as well as a physical key. And my understanding is that those gate codes and that lock gets changed often enough that there's no guarantee that if you purchase this property from us, you know, in month 1, that by month 6, those two things would still be the same, and that whatever key or code we give you would work. So because of that, we want to tell you a second way to get into the property, whether you're purchasing it or whether you just want to go out and scout it to make sure that it's something that you're interested in buying. That route that we're going to give you in those turn-by-turn directions come from the east. They enter in here off the east. Now, one of the nice things about the eastern entrance, aside from the fact that it has no gates and no obstructions, is that it is actually closer to the subdivision. It is actually the easier access point, as we've been told by a number of locals who live within the subdivision. These driving directions are important because there are a lot of roads in Tierra Verde Ranchettes that do not have names, and there are some that are, I mean, pretty much all of these are going to require or it's best to have an off-road vehicle. Some are easy to navigate, some won't require it, but a few of them will, particularly getting from point A to point B out here. So we encourage you, if you're going to go out there to scout the land, or even if you're purchasing it, you'll want to take an off-road capable vehicle, something with four-wheel drive, etc. Now, with all that said, we want to show you what the access road looks like. Basically, the very first part of this is if you're coming in along the 53, Highway 53, if you're coming from the west, you're going to want to make a right turn onto Cibola County Road 42. And if you're coming from the east, you're going to want to make a left turn onto Cibola County Road 42. That, what I just showed you on the map, is demonstrated here in the gallery. And the access point looks like this. So even if you don't see signs for Cibola County Road 42, basically you're looking for this. You're looking for this view right here, this yellow cattle guard, this view right here. So if you're on the 53, you turn off and you don't see this, get back on the 53, keep looking, you've missed the correct turn. But if you do see this, congratulations, you're going to be headed in the right direction. Now, with that said, the next part of this is a 6.7 mile drive, and whether you have the video queued up on your smartphone as you go out there, or if you just have the stills, I would encourage you to follow along with these exact sort of this mileage, so you can follow it on your odometer. Whatever the case, 6.7 miles south. Now, of course, that's a long way to go without knowing if you're heading in the right direction. You're going to need some landmarks, so the few landmarks that we are able to provide are in the next stills. So as an example, you're going to see this sign, keep going south. You'll see this, keep going south. This one, you're going to see this, again, keep going south. Now, the next part of this, once you've traversed that 6.7 mile drive, is you're going to come to a fork in the road right next to Cerro Americano. Cerro Americano is a sort of hillside that juts out from the earth. It announces itself very clearly, and that fork in the road looks like this. Now, when you get here, you're going to want to stay to your right. There's going to be a number of forks you'll come to in the next few turns. Each one of them, you want to stay to your right. You want to hug Cerro Americano. If you stay to the left on Cibola County Road 42, if you continue on that way, you're going in the wrong direction. So, a little punch in on this here, you will see that helpfully Cerro Americano Road also has a road sign. It's one of the few out here that does. Again, stay to your right. You'll be going in the correct direction. Next, you're going to drive another half mile southwest to another fork in the road. At that fork, again, stay to your right. Here's what that one looks like. And then from here, you're going to drive 0.8 miles until you reach yet another fork in the road. Now, I just want to point out to you guys, at some of these forks, we haven't listed all the forks because some of them it doesn't matter. As long as you're heading west, whether you take Route 1 or Route 2, whatever, it's going to bring you back to the same point. The ones that we're highlighting here in the video are the ones where if you make a wrong turn, if you start going this way, for instance, you'll head 10 miles in the wrong direction. So we want to make you aware that when you get to this fork, this is where you're going to want to stay to your left. So here's just a closer look of what this looks like. And here is helpfully, again, what this looks like from the ground. Now, I'll point out to you, this is one of these where it looks like how different can these two paths be, but this one will take you in very different directions, so stay to your left. I also like to point out to you, my photographer's been out there a couple times. He always sees this red Jeep out there. So if you're lucky, you'll see the red Jeep as well, and you'll know that that is the left side path that you want to stay toward. Anyway, with that, you're going to come to the entrance to Tierra Verde. That looks like this. There's a fence line, there's a cattle guard, but there is no gate. So that is one of the nice things about this access point. Additionally, there'll be a sign right here, very glamorous, welcome to Tierra Verde sign that you'll see. That's how you know you're heading in the right direction. Now, I just want to point out to you guys, Tierra Verde is a 7-unit subdivision, and this roughly 10-mile journey you've just been on is all outside of Tierra Verde. Right now, you've gotten to right here. And if you're going to one of these two properties we're discussing in the video, you're going to want to go all the way up here into Unit 2. So this is the path that you're taking. The next step is to go about 0.36 miles until you come to a 3-way fork in the road. Now, along this western journey, it doesn't matter which one of the forks that you take around here, it's going to lead you back to the same place. But the first major divergence that you want to be aware of is this one. Basically, if you're driving along this path and you stay to your left, you're going to be going in the wrong direction. Don't do that. Stay to your right. Okay? You're going to want to bang a sharp right up here, or you can come down here a little bit and bang a sharp right here. An important landmark to look for are the power lines that are right here. There's a sort of utility easement along this way in which you can see that there are power lines in this region. In case you don't know what a power line looks like, look at this. Very helpfully, we have a picture of a power line. So when you see that, just stay to your right. Next, you're going to want to drive about 0.18 miles until you come to another fork in the road. At that one, you'll want to stay to your right. Do not turn left, guys. Now, this fork in the road looks like this. It should be pretty easy to figure out. The right-hand side is carved out better. Obviously, it's been driven a lot more. The left-hand turn has not been. So stay on the path that leads you in the, the right direction. It should be pretty easy to figure out. Next. From here, you're going to want to drive 0.13 miles till you come to another fork in the road. At that fork, stay left. And this is what that one is going to look like, okay? And finally, right after that, another 0.14 miles, you're going to come to another fork in the road. At that fork, stay right. Now, here's another one where it really doesn't matter if you go left or right, but the point is that the right-hand turn will just be a little quicker for you. It's going to lead you up into this straight north-south road right here. And here's what that right-hand turn looks like. Now, this north-south road coming up is called Camino de Agua Viva, and it's one of the what we'll call major roads within the subdivision. I think there's actually even street signs out here that say Camino de Agua Viva. Anyway, the point is that you're going to want to stay on this. You're going to want to head due north. Now, to get to the B property, which we're indicating here, you're going to travel north on Camino de Agua Viva 1 mile until you come to the intersection of Mason Ranch Road. This is, you don't really make a turn right here, but I just want to point this out to you guys as a landmark so you know what you're looking for. Here at Mason Ranch Road, you're going to pick up these power lines that you saw earlier. And then you're going to continue along this road. Essentially, you're passing Mason Ranch. You're going to continue along this. And by the way, this is what that intersection looks like. There's a shot of the power line. Anyway, so you're going to continue along this until you see a homestead up here. From Mason Ranch to the homestead is about 0.44 miles. And just to give you a sense that homestead is right there on the corner. Should be pretty easy to identify. When you come to that, you're going to want to continue another 0.25 miles north until you come to another intersection. Now, I'm calling it an intersection. Out here in Tierra Verde, finding the actual roads, the actual turnoffs, is not as easy with some of these. Some of them are pretty pronounced. Some of them are pretty obviously, oh, that's a road. This one, however, is not. So what I would tell you is from this intersection down here, as long as you're following your odometer, you know 0.25 miles. Once you get up here, wherever you're at 0.25, make a left turn. Bang a sharp left. That's going to be a road, whether you realize it or not. And from there, you're going to drive 0.3 miles, and the property will be on your right-hand side. Now, the only difference with this and the A property is that from this intersection right here to get to the A property, all you have to do is make a left turn. You make that left and you go 0.3 miles, and then you will reach that subject property. And that's the only difference. So, with all that said, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that was informative. I hope that helps you on your scout, or once you've purchased the property, actually being able to find it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment here on YouTube or shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com. Thanks again for watching.